It says we are live.
And we are live.
Hello, everyone. It's Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead.
All right.
We are trying to get all set up. Danny's playing around with everything today. I'm going to have to move up because I know I can't see that chat unless I get closer.
All right. I think we're good to go.
Now,
how's that for pulling it all out?
You did pretty good.
Pretty good, didn't it? Yeah.
Pretty good.
Swelled it up where we can read it anyway.
A little bit. Got a lot of people done popped in for our crazy evening. I asked Danny what I needed title, and he said the world's gone crazy.
That's all right. She said last minute. Oh, well, the computer crashed 20 minutes before we were supposed to come on. We're freaking out. We're grabbing. Wanda's grabbing another computer, and we're like, and I said, give me time with this one. Just give me some time. And I finally figured out what was wrong with it and got it back up and running.
It's done this before, and I shouldn't trust it, but I love this computer. And I still use it, and it's like, oh my goodness. So.
But it was the devil, I think. I think it's
always
just the devil.
is.
It was the devil. We'll blame it on him anyway. We can blame it on China.
Yeah, I think, well, the C.
The big C. Yeah,
C.
the big C. There we go.
Maybe they did it. Maybe they flew a balloon over
maybe
our house.
Maybe the balloon flew over us, and we just didn't know it.
We were outside all day. Wouldn't we have seen it?
Yeah, but we didn't look up.
Technically, no. We were too busy doing other stuff.
We were too busy. We spent the whole day at the other property, so. And we just got home a few minutes ago.
Grabbed a bite to eat.
Ran in here, and the computer was crashed on us. So we was like, oh no, it's going to be a bad night. So, but we found the solution. Remember I told y'all it's all about solutions. So, and let's see here.
Yeah, I use Microsoft Windows. That is what I use. But this computer has a glitch system in it, and it has since.
Oh, it's got a bad system since it's brand new.
Yeah, it's not an old computer.
Right.
But within the first 2 months, and they didn't want to replace it.
Right.
And so I had to figure a way around it, and I figured that out. But it still glitches, and it still fixes me where I can't get back in my computer right quick.
Yep.
And when it happens, I go wacky.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway.
Okay, everybody's.
Oh man.
Mott Hill says my computer died and having to use the phone. I thought we were going to have to use the phone, but I do have another computer that I use for Etsy, and it's mainly my business computer. It does have OBS and everything in it where I can live stream from it, but
thanks Romans 1:25 through 26.
We just, I was getting ready to set it up. If he hadn't got this one up and running, it was slow go.
Oh man, lots of good.
Is it a full moon or is it the spy balloon?
Yeah, there's been lots of them going by talking about that. I mean, it's really interesting. Some of them that's went by. I was looking at. Let me see. What was
China balloon was looking for eggs and chickens.
That's what the China balloon was looking for eggs and chickens because everybody knows there's a shortage of chickens and eggs. Oh.
They came by Deep South, I guess. You know how many eggs I've got on my cabinet that need to be washed? If y'all saw the video yesterday, it was about 6 dozen. It's up to 7 or so now.
Yeah, our chickens is in high gear, so they are manufacturing some eggs now.
And like we told y'all last week, we don't use the Tractor Supply feed, never have. We always use a local feed, and it is Tucker Milling from Alabama.
Yeah, that's the new one.
Yeah, that's the one we've been using for a while.
Yeah, that's the new one.
And it is 22%, in case somebody asked. And we keep our chickens with plenty of water. If you let your chickens get out of water, they won't lay either. So if you don't have plenty of water going to your chickens,
plenty of. We make sure everything's balanced out where they got enough calcium. I mean everything that they have to have. We always throwing them something green throughout the winter, and that helps a lot.
So basically, that's people had asked, would we do a chicken video? And there's really no point in us doing one. There's hundreds and thousands of people out there who's done chicken videos.
Yeah.
But we have several already up, and I did show we have a 12-gallon water with the nipples on the side, and I ordered it off Amazon, or I think it was Amazon. I don't even remember. It might have been Walmart, but I think it was Amazon. 12 gallons will last almost a week with my chickens, and I have 13 hens and 1 rooster. And I just check it like every 2 to 3 days to make sure it hadn't gotten really low. But when I was using the 1 gallon or the 3-gallon waters, I was having to change water every day. And sometimes they'd run out during the day. And so that's when your chickens kind of get out of balance.
Mr. Danny, wind strapping over or under your shade cloth? It's under my shade cloth.
Yeah.
It doesn't go over your shade cloth. There's no need putting it over it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so...
let's see here.
Pamela says they use Tractor Supply and all their girls are laying. So it could be a combination of anything. Cold weather. It could be that time of the year they're molting.
Great Discoveries Homestead says, hey, does a rooster need different feed? I've heard that before. I haven't had a rooster in a while. No, we give all of ours the same. Our rooster eats the same thing the hens eat.
He may be laying an egg.
Well, he may be.
That may be how come I got so many eggs. Maybe my
maybe his estrogen level may be up. Maybe that's what it is.
I don't know.
But no, it's just a protein feed is what we're giving them.
Yeah.
Does anybody know how to kill love grass? DC 46, I don't even know what love grass is.
I think somebody asked that before in one of our videos in the comments, and I meant to look that up, and I have not had time to look it up yet.
Yeah, I don't even know what love grass is.
Yeah, if you're going to keep your eggs on the counter, don't wash them.
Yeah.
I do see somebody saying something.
Pamela's asking, what did y'all do today at Pecan Grove?
Well, technically, I didn't get a picture of that put up, but you can tell them a little bit right quick. We got a delivery.
We got a delivery from Home Depot today at Pecan Grove. We're putting up a fence in the future. We worked on it a little bit today. Mostly what I did today was push down brush and started building my pecan orchard.
We do have pictures.
Oh yeah, Miss Wanda does have pictures here.
I'm not sure which one. I guess
you said let's start at one of the things we did. At what we did during the week.
Yeah.
This right here was a mangled up bunch of muscadine grape. We don't know what they are. They just grapevines is all we know. Could be muscadines, could be scuppernongs. We don't know. They were all mashed and tangled up and just hadn't been taken care of.
Arbor over the top.
Had a big old arbor over the top of them, about to fall down. And I told Wanda, I said, look, let's just cut this whole thing back and start over with new posts, new wire, and let's just trim this thing back where we can handle it. We don't know what they are, so it'll be the mystery vines for us, but this is one project that we undertook to do.
And so now it looks really neat and uniform, and y'all see the red ribbons? Danny told me they were unnecessary, but I almost walked into that wire 3 or 4 times, so there's red ribbons everywhere, so I don't go through the vines.
And we lacked 1 row of potatoes in our little garden area we had over there. We waited on the guy at the feed store to get some potatoes in, and we finally got them. We chitted them, and so that they would begin to cure, and then it set into raining. And we did not get them in the phase of the moon that we wanted to get them in, so we had to just get them in when the ground was right, because we got more rain coming, and we knew that if we didn't do it one day this week when it was dry enough, that we would not stand a chance. As a matter of fact, the day we did this, you can see it's foggy. This is about 10 o'clock in the day, and rain moved in at 1 o'clock.
And you can see the potatoes behind him. We have potatoes up on 2 rows, and it's almost a perfect stand on both rows.
Yeah, we had a beautiful stand on the other 2 rows. And this here is me. We have, guys, somebody in their, I don't know, in their ignorant state of mind
It's 'cause they pretty.
I don't care. This vine in front of me there is a wisteria vine.
It was strangling trees.
One of many. Now this is a little one.
Yeah, that wasn't the biggest one.
This is not the big ones. Some of them I'm having to take a chainsaw and cut them off because they're 6 and 8 inches in diameter at the ground. They must be 90 years old. I mean, these things are huge and they're killing all the big trees and stuff. As a matter of fact, behind me over my left shoulder, you can see a persimmon tree there that is done strangled to death, and you can see the fungus is growing out on it. So we were taking down wisteria vines, and boy, did I have myself a time. And we ain't nowhere near finished.
The tractor wouldn't even budge them.
Tractor wouldn't.
He would get a hold of them and pull, and the tractor just sit there.
Tractor was like it just run into a block wall.
Y'all want something strong, plant wisteria.
Yeah.
Now, if I want it, and not when I go to cut it, it won't cut. It'll just fuzzy up on you. It's hard.
Cindy T says, what was the right phase of the moon again? You want to plant root crops on the waning part of the moon. When the moon is in the decrease, now that can be 12 hours after the full moon. From that point beyond, you can begin to plant your root crops. But we did not have time to wait because on the waning of the moon this time, it's going to be raining. And plus, our potatoes that we had cut had begun to mold a little bit, and we were afraid that they were going to rot because we've been holding them now about, what, 2 weeks almost?
Oh, close.
Close to 2 weeks,
yeah.
And we knew we just need to get them in the ground.
Well, the wisteria, you got to understand, I looked up wisteria. There's 2 kinds. There's an American wisteria and there's a Chinese wisteria. The Chinese wisteria is very, very invasive.
Invasive, yeah.
And it will choke trees out.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if we have the Chinese or the American. The American is a smaller version, but this is going wild. I'm talking wild. It is running the ground. There's big giant, like this big, looks like ropes running the ground. It's all under
twisted
all the
around
trees.
all the trees, everything. This is horrible.
This is very, I mean, I like wisteria. I think it's beautiful, but you need it in an arbor. You need it controlled something. This is totally out of control. And the one you cut down was probably, what, that big around?
Oh, it was, about 6 to 8 inches in diameter, yeah.
The biggest one was.
The biggest one was. And I cut lots of them that were 4 inches in diameter.
Yeah. It's crazy. I do like it, but we don't
I saw,
do that.
Where did it go? It went
That's
away.
where you're...
Okay, this is one of the places right here where I'm pushing up yopon tree. That's one tree in front of me, one yopon tree that I pushed up with a tractor, clearing the pecan orchard. These things has come up all around the pecan trees, and you have to hunt the pecan trees out of the yopons and the privy. And I'm just pushing them up in piles. Gonna have to get a dozer or something to come in and move them all to one particular pile, but right now that's what I'm involved in doing here with the tractor.
And this is the
pecan trees. Once I start getting some of the yopons and privy out from around them. Now in the background you see more privy and more of the yopons and stuff like that standing around back in there. There's actually pecan trees in amongst all of that stuff. And these are a couple of them right here that I pushed out from around just so I could trim. And today at daylight I was trimming limbs off of the lower parts of them because it makes it difficult to get around on a tractor.
And somebody's saying something about crepe myrtles. We have some crepe myrtles that are huge.
We got crepe myrtles that are 25 feet high or higher.
I've only seen, this is the size I've seen a lot of people have that have had them for 40, 50 years. But my mom has some in her yard that are what?
Oh, gosh.
You can't reach around my mom's.
Your mom's crepe myrtles are probably, oh gosh, them things have to be 100 years old.
You can't reach around them, and they're, what, 75, 80 feet tall?
Oh, them things are huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
I've never seen crepe myrtles like this.
Yeah.
She lives in an older part of town, and good Lord at the crepe myrtles. They're huge.
Yeah, EVW says yopon is a coffee substitute. Yes, it is. It is the
and
only known. It is the only known plant or bush that has caffeine naturally.
Yeah, if y'all ever want caffeine from the Yolk Pond, just let us know. We have plenty we could sell for
I could sell for the next
25
years
and never run out.
Yeah.
I promise y'all. And then we found what appears, I think Lippy said it's a bay laurel. It's a huge tree. What they use, I believe, for bay leaves. If it is, it's a sweet smell to it.
Yeah.
It's blooming. The bees are everywhere. It's crazy.
Hey, Mr. Billy or Miss Michelle.
So it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
We've been doing a lot there. Very little here. We just run in, cook, clean,
get a bath, feed the animals. We're out the door and gone again because the time is really, really short, and we know that it is. We got things coming in the country, and we know that we have got to get things done as quickly as possible before the heat moves in. Because the heat this summer is going to be horrendous. And I want to take an opportunity today. We got our electric bill in today. Our electric bill went up almost $100.
Yeah.
And I was like, of course, you got to know me. I was like, what? $100?
We knew it was going to be up.
We knew it was going to be up a little bit, but then we got our cooperative book in here from our power company. And I'm going to read you some things here that they sent us. The cost increase of electrical equipment over the last 3 years from 2020 to 2023. The light poles have gone up 65%. The transformers have gone up 89%. Conductor aluminum, like what they use in the wiring, has gone up 148%. Conductor copper, now this is what I thought was crazy. The aluminum went up 148%. Copper only went up 64%. The anchors that they use on the light poles for the guide wires went up 141%. Lightning arresters, all of our light poles have lightning arresters on them. They went up 41%. Now this one blew me away. PVC conduit, like all of our underground cables here have to be run in Schedule 80 electrical PVC conduit. It went up 357% this year. The guy wires, like they use to hook to the anchor to the light pole to keep them, hold them in place, they went up 87%. The clamps that they use on the power lines, they went up 43%. The insulator dead ends, like they use on the poles up there, they went up 22%. This is some of the increases that our power company has seen this year. And our power bill this time, me and Ms. Wanda, we're fixing to have to make some changes of some kind. I don't know what, but we're going to have to make some changes.
Yeah, almost everybody's saying theirs went up $100, $200. $150, the PVC is what blew me away.
Yeah, the PVC was what got me. 350. Well, it's an oil-based product. It's a petroleum-based product. So I guess that, has something to do with it. But at least our cooperative company was kind enough to tell us why everything was.
To send us a paper.
Yeah. To tell us how much they're going to charge us and why,
Yeah. And somebody said something here, and I was going to read it, and I done forgot what it was. Let me back up a minute. I was reading as you were. PVC's out of control where you're at, too. Is it too soon to plant sweet potato draws in Northeast Mississippi?
Northeast Mississippi? Probably not. Because the thing about it is, if your draws, they'll turn into vines. And if you just let them run, you can always chop the vines off and stick them over in a glass of water, and they'll start rooting, and you can just make more draws from the vines. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and get them going, it's not going to be a problem.
Ooh, somebody's neighbor's electric bill was $600. Woo!
We know people whose
my sister's
her sister's lots of times was
$700 and $800, and I'm like, how do you even pay that? I mean, but she lives in a 100 and something. It's over 100-year-old house.
Yeah.
And it's hard to heat. It's just really hard.
It's just crazy. I mean, it's hard to breathe reading everyone else's power bill. Darlene, look, I'm telling you, ours went up $100.
Yeah.
Wanda and I fixing to have to do something for sure now.
I told him, I said, we're going to be building fires. Well, we try to make sure all the lights are off. We don't leave lights on.
No, we don't leave nothing plugged up, no phantom draws.
And we've been over at the property the majority of the day. I mean, that's crazy. It should be down because nobody's in the house, nobody's doing anything. I figured it would stay normal. But as cold as it was, we had that one cold spell during this. So I guess that kicked it on up, trying to keep it there.
Yeah. It's crazy, guys. I mean, I know I'm sitting here looking at some of the stuff y'all were talking about there.
Where did you get your hat?
Where did I get my hat? This is one I got from Lippy and them, I believe.
Yeah, Mr. Buddy sent this.
Mr. Buddy and them sent me this.
You have to talk to Mr. Buddy.
God of Son, Jesus Christ saves LED bulbs. LED is all we use. We don't have nothing in our house that's not LED.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's just crazy. It just went up. I mean, so we'll have to make some more changes. I mean, we made changes and went to the LEDs and it went down $50 or $60. And now it's done jumped up over $100.
I think it's our unit because we about determined yesterday we may have to have somebody come look at the unit and see, even though it's not that old.
No, it's a new unit.
Less than 2 years old.
Yeah, it's less than 2 years old.
We might need something checked on it, so that might be something.
Georgia Gal said, Danny, did you see Justin's video about the grain mill? Yes, I did. As a matter of fact, I talked to Justin and gave him some advice right before he did that video. So I was aware the video was coming. He and I talked ahead of time.
We will wait and see.
We will wait and see what the outcome of this will be. Let me put it that way. We will be grinding some corn of our own here shortly. Of course, it won't be with anything that Justin has anything to do with, but I mean...
It will be a China meal.
It'll be
That's what Danny calls it.
I call it my Chinese meal because it's more of a hammer meal than it is a grist mill. But we can't afford to wait on Justin any longer. We've waited as long as we feel like we can, so we have to have our food. So we're going to have to go back to our old trusted Chinese one instead of having a nice American-made one.
Let's see. Everybody's talking about power bills still.
Well, it's just one of them things. I mean, you know, I've tried to tell people that it's coming. We know ourselves it's coming.
Metcalf meals. We had promoted Metcalf meals.
Justin who? We're talking about Metcalf meals for Justin who?
It promoted a community grain mill that he was making. Stone ground.
Yeah,
stone mills.
It's a stone mill. Yeah, for grinding stone.
All right. Will we have any multiplying onion sets for sale soon? Probably
be
June.
June or July. Usually they come out. We pull them up in June or July and we divide them all up to sell.
Oh, let me tell you what I did today. I have been digging up garlic.
Oh, Wanda has dug up so much garlic.
I did some a couple of days ago. Danny said, okay, this little bit of garlic here is in the way it's got to go. And it just, it had to be moved because that's going to be where we travel through that spot.
Yeah.
And so.
And we're talking about the new property now.
Yeah, at the new property. So I dug up probably nearly 100 bulbs.
Probably
50 at least.
You probably dug 100 up because I took 3 big containers and put them in there just as thick as I could get them. So yeah, you probably dug 100 of them.
Then there was spots just in the yard. If you've ever been to an old home place, you know you can be mowing the yard and you just smell garlic all of a sudden. Well, I found 4 different places in the yard that had garlic for no reason. It's just out in the middle of open somewhere, just garlic growing up. I think I probably ended up with another 100, 150 bulbs of garlic. So I planted some more. I brought some home, and we may be putting some of this garlic. This would have to be an old variety because it was deep underground. I'm talking deep.
Lisa Schott says, I need garlic too, Wanda. Y'all selling?
Yeah, you'll have to email me.
You'll have to email us if you want some. This is elephant garlic now.
Yeah, it's an old variety.
I mean, this old Homestead, this stuff's been in the ground for 30 years at
30
least.
plus.
30 plus years, just growing in the yard. It's growing out everywhere. I mean...
So we're just gonna, and they say, wow, how would you preserve it? To me, right now, I'm not going to be preserving it. I'm just going to be replanting it and letting it grow. It's not making it. Some of the bulbs are like this big around, but it gets into the bulb stage, and then the corms, I guess, must come off and come back up.
They do. The corms keep coming back up.
And
yeah,
it doesn't make a bunch of cloves. It just makes big garlic. Yeah. Big old one big thing, I guess. That's all I found is huge things. I do have some garlic fermented in honey.
Yeah, we do have garlic and honey. Yeah.
So that's one thing that I did do today. Let's see, what else?
Let's see here.
I'm trying to think.
Do we plant the white squash? If you're talking about the patty pan, we have planted it in the past. It's very prolific, I can tell you that. It makes a lot of squash.
Yeah. So seeds and stuff. We try to give them some ideas of what we're going to be planting and coming up. We did put the potatoes in the ground, the newest ones. We already had some. English peas in my high tunnel. Are we putting any in the ground?
Yeah, we're probably going to put some out in the field. Yeah, we're going to have to.
All right, that's this week. They got to be in before February 14th or else.
Well, it depends on the rain. We got rain coming.
If we get them late here, it gets too hot and they won't make very well. So we do have to have some English peas.
Camlobes VTech says, what does Danny got to say about the balloon? I did a talk over on Patreon about the balloon. I told him over there everything I thought about it and what I knew about it and all that.
Did my cookbooks I find sell out? Not quite. I still have probably 25 or so left. And I'm not sure if I have any left on Etsy. I've got to count what I have and make sure before I put the final number up.
Yeah.
Danny's books have been selling well this week. We've sold a lot of sweet potato, carrot, and English pea books. And if you're interested, they're on our Etsy store.
Somebody asked, do we worm our cows? No, I have not wormed my cows. The only time I worm my cows is if I bring a new one on the property. I will worm it before I bring it. When I bring it here, I will put it by itself and worm it. But my cows for, 5 to 6, 7 years now, I have not wormed them at all.
Yeah. All right, so what kind of potatoes are we growing?
Oh, we've got the Purple Majesties, French Fingerlings, and Red Lesotas. And a couple of White Russian Fingerlings, and I think we got a couple of the Kennebec Whites mixed in with it. Just whatever was left over in the cooler right there, we throwed them in the ground. Will
Vardaman sweet potatoes from sunflower be okay to grow draws off of? Yes.
Yes.
How do you get a cookbook? Miss Lippy has my Etsy store link. You can click that and go to it.
Hey, Sue says, when should we expect to see our sugar cane coming up? When the ground warms up, it comes up. That's just how it works.
If there's not any cookbooks on Etsy, I'll have to put some when we get off. I'll have to count them and see how many's left. Is our pond full?
Both our ponds, one was running over, but it's down about 2 or 3 inches. The other one lacked about a foot, being up to
I looked today
about a foot to be up to the overflow. Yeah. Are y'all doing the Yukon Goals? No, Rogers, we don't do the Yukon Goals here because we live in the deep south and they really don't make many potatoes here. If you waste your space planting, you only get like 1 or 2 potatoes per plant. It's just not worth it for us to do it.
Is it better to cut your potatoes or plant them whole?
It's better to cut your potatoes. Cut them and let them cure for about 3 to 4 days, or either use some sulfur on them or you use sphagnum peat moss on them to dry them out real quick. And you have more potatoes
per potato.
Per potato. I'm trying to figure out how to say that where it didn't come out wrong. You get more potatoes per potato if you do it that way.
Our fingerlings and stuff we saved from last year. We didn't order any. And they were already putting out sprouts and they had already shriveled up some, so we planted them whole. We did not cut because they were already shriveled and sprouting. So that's one thing.
Lisa Schott says, need some red potatoes. Place to sell them right here is Old South in Wiggins, Mississippi is selling the potatoes. You can get them by the pound there. Should we try to shade cloth everything this summer in Texas? You should try to shade cloth everything this summer anywhere in the United States you live. Because the sun this summer is going to be wicked.
All right, Etsy says they're sold out of cookbooks. I will try to get some up in a little while. Just check back with me. Miss Wanda, can you cut potatoes with the skin on? Yes.
Can you can potatoes with skin?
Can.
Yeah.
Okay, what I do is when Danny and I dig our potatoes, I take and wash them, and if I'm going to do skins on, I wash them and can them within the first less than a week. After a week, the skins start toughening, and when you can them with those tough skins, you have tough skins on your potatoes, and it doesn't really taste well. So the first week of digging them, yes. After that, I would not do it.
Okay.
Store-bought, no.
The best soil amendments. Any compost that you have is really, really good for soil amendments. We use worm castings. We use leaves in the fall. We try to take the lawnmower and blow all of our leaves into the gardens and chop them up. I used to use cow and goat manure and all that. I don't do that anymore because of Grazon and Remedy and 2,4-D and stuff like that being used on hay fields now.
Where do you find seed potatoes for French fingerlings? Hoss Tools usually carries them. I'm not there's some of the other seed companies that carry them, but some of them get pretty expensive. We looked at.
Well, not only that, they make you wait too long to get them.
They won't send them out. We need them early.
Yeah, we need them early.
But Hoss Tools would do.
Yeah.
Stephanie is wanting me to do more cooking videos. I have a whole playlist of several playlists of cooking videos, and on Crazy Days I have a lot of my cooking videos are over on Crazy Days, most things.
There was a question went by. I was going to answer.
Is a dehydrator okay if you don't have a freeze dryer? Yes. If you like dehydrated food, yes. Just make sure it's dehydrated well enough and there's no moisture to.
Okay, here it is. One more rock says, what kind of shade cloth do you recommend? Well, shade cloths, it doesn't matter. You want a black one for sure. But you want about 40%. You don't want to go more than 40%. And we're in zone 8, and 40% works really good for us.
All right, TikTok says, what company did you use to publish your cookbook? Our church wants to know. I used Morris Printing, Morris Cookbook. I think it's called Morris Cookbook or something like that. That's the easiest way. You can set it up, and all you got to do is type in your recipe, and it automatically fixes it. And for the church, you could set up as an admin, and then you can allow other people, and they can go in and type their own recipes, and you don't have to do all the work. They can help with it. It's amazing.
JT West, Mr. Joey, and him says, Ms. Wanda, will that salad master make a fine coleslaw, or is it coarse only? You can actually make it any way. It has lots.
It has another one that's really fine, almost to the point. I did some carrots and stuff through the finest one, and it's almost like threads.
It's almost like hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just really, really
thin.
It's too thin. But it actually comes with about 5 different.
Let me go get them. I'll show them.
Yeah, go get them and let them look at them. It comes with several different heads that goes on them. You can make pasta looking things. I mean, you can make big slices. You can cut like potatoes in slices, like if you want to do casseroles and stuff like that, and you want them a 1/4 inch thick or 1/8 inch thick, you can cut them that way.
All right, this one.
Here we go, right here.
This one is like if you wanted just regular potato chips.
Like potato chips, yeah.
This will slice things thin and round and flat like a potato chip. This one will slice them like a ruffled potato chip. And that's the one I use for slaw because it cuts the slaw in shreds.
Yeah.
Different veggies will do different, but if you were doing potatoes, this would be a ruffled potato chip. If you do slaw, this is the ribbons of the slaw. This
one is
the one if you want it shredded fine like hair, that's what you use. If you were doing, I think this one that's the one I think I use if we use hash browns.
Hash browns, yes.
With potatoes. Now this is a different ripple type thing. If you wanted to do, again, potatoes, but you could do carrots.
Yeah.
It'll slice them in different directions. And then this one is even a different.
Yeah.
And they do have Salad Master. I did check yesterday to make sure. You can still buy Salad Master. I don't know the process because I didn't sign up on their website and they don't have them out open. But my mom and dad bought Salad Master pots and pans.
Yeah.
And this thing came with them. Not this particular one. My mom still has hers. But she bought them when I was probably in high school. And they used those. She may still be using those pots. I don't know. But all my life, if I ever went to my mom and dad's, they were still using Salad Master pots. And these things. And Danny's had this 30 years.
I've had this thing for 30 years or more. Okay, here's Vivian wants to know, Wanda, my canned meat siphon every time I can, 1 inch head space, finger tight. I can probably tell them, but I mean it's.
Go ahead.
Probably your temperature is just a little bit too high, more than likely. Yeah. Because if the temperature gets a little bit too high, your pressure gets a little too high, it will siphon every bit of the water out of a jar. Yeah,
when you're canning, I don't know if you have a gauge or if you have a jiggler.
Yeah.
I use a jiggler, and I know not to let it jiggle too much, because if it gets to jiggling like this and it's just going crazy, it's too much.
Yeah.
And it will cause everything in it to siphon out somewhat. You just want your jiggler back and forth.
Yeah, you just want it barely moving, just a little bit. You don't want it sitting there. You
don't
want it sitting there dancing hard. You just want it dancing back and forth, just
I tell them they don't want to be Charo.
Right.
Like, Charo does this. People don't know who Charo is.
Most of them don't know who she is.
But you want a hula dancer, smooth and easy.
Yeah.
Now, if you've got a gauge, keep it at 10 pounds. Don't let it get up and down on your gauge either.
Okay.
That's part of it.
Carlin Porter says, "How is the pineapples doing?" They're doing okay. I mean,
none of them are blooming right now.
None of them blooming right now. That's for sure. It's been too cold. Cam Loeb says, "Do y'all get a calcium buildup in the bottom section of your Alexa Pure? Do you use rainwater?" No, we do not get a calcium buildup. We don't have a calcium problem in our water. We have an iron problem. And we do not use rainwater because of all the chemicals that's in it. And I know these are supposed to take out a lot of chemicals that's in it, but we just use our well water. That's all we use with it.
All right, Danny, I know you grow peppers. Do you ever make your own hot sauce?
We don't eat any kind of hot sauces. I used to eat jalapenos like they were candy. And
somebody knows who Charo is.
And I ended up with a lot of stomach and intestinal issues from doing that, and since then we don't eat anything hot anymore.
Gucci.
Yep.
I forgot that.
Coochie. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, somebody said theirs goes up and down. Yeah, it's really hard to get it leveled out sometimes, but once you figure it out, it's easier. It makes more sense.
Danny, have I done a video on using shade cloth for raised beds? We put one over our squash one time, or was that an insect repellent?
That was that
was an insect thing that kept the bees from pollinating the squash, and we didn't get no squash. So okay, so no, we haven't done one. Do we have a recipe for sauerkraut? Go check out Ms. Lippy's. Ms. Lippy, put your recipe up for your sauerkraut.
Yeah.
Or your video link or whatever.
I've not tried. Somebody asked earlier. I've still chickened out, and I've still not tried my canned slaw yet. I meant to do that the last couple of days, and I just didn't. See, several people know who Charo is.
Oh, hey, Danny, I end up with large sweet potato plants, but no sweet potatoes. What am I doing wrong? You're putting too much fertilizer, sounds like. Too much water and too much fertilizer.
Number one, did you put slips, not...
Yeah. Now, do you have slips, or do you just plant the potatoes and expect it to grow a sweet potato? If you just put the potato in the ground and it grows a vine and you're expecting to get a sweet potato off of it, it's not going to happen. You've got to break the slips off, put them in the ground. You got to get my manual and go, where's it at? Right here. If I can get a hold to it. Wait, Miss Wanda's got it stacked in there. Right here. Sweet potato manual. It will tell you all you need to know about growing potatoes, and I even have detailed pictures for those who like to look rather than read. I'm one of them. I learn by looking, not necessarily reading. So we have a manual. It's on our Etsy store. Tell you all about sweet potatoes.
Yeah, and we have one on carrots and one on English peas.
Is it too late to plant garlic in zone 10? Now, you can plant, technically, let me be honest with you. If you're planting elephant garlic, you can plant it anytime. Now, it may not make a bulb the first year if you plant it too late, but it don't matter. You can still plant it. Because basically, it's a leek, to be honest with you. It's in the leek family, and it's to me, it's one of the better tasting garlics.
Our higher tunnels are 36 feet long. They're 16 feet wide.
Corey said, Danny, what breed of dairy goat do I want in the South? You can go with tons of them. You can do the La Manchas. You can do the Nubians. I mean, you can do it. The Kiko would be probably the one I would say would be the best, would be a Kiko, because they're very parasite resistant. The Nubians will die on you overnight. The La Mancha ain't got no ears on their head. They look kind of funny.
They just look weird.
They just look weird. Yeah.
You don't have a goat. You want it to look like a goat.
You want it to look like a goat. So the Kiko really is the best goat for the South. Do we make homemade souse meat? I have in the past, but I haven't made any in probably 25 years or more.
He ain't making none.
Miss Wanda ain't gonna eat no souse meat.
No.
Lots of people scare people because they talk about, well, I use the tongue and the eyeballs and all this kind of stuff, and no, I don't do none of that. All I ever do is just boil the meat off the head and use it.
Yeah. Are you planting the blue corn this year?
Nope. This year we're planting strictly Danny corn.
We're probably going to plant some sweet corn.
We
might. Didn't plant any last year, and I really miss my sweet corn, so I think we're going to plant some sweet corn.
Reap What You Sow Garden says, I would like a sweet potato manual. You can head over to the Etsy store, and we'll make sure they're there.
And if they're not there, give me a chance to get them.
Is it okay to plant fruit trees right now? And the answer is yes, because they're just now starting to come in here in the deep south.
Yeah, Jack's Planting Patio had a whole selection of them, and I'm anxious to go. I saw another post on Facebook a while ago when I got on. Yep. They got all their fruit trees in. They've got a bunch of their bedding plants, like their not winter, but cool stuff.
Yeah.
And they've got all kinds of stuff, and I want to go tree shopping.
Are you selling Danny corn seeds? Nope, we are sold out. All we got is just enough to plant ours. this year, and hopefully we will have a crop thing. What size shade cloth do you use for your 16 by 36 high tunnel? Well, to be honest with you, I don't know the exact measurements other than the 36 part, because what I did was I threw the rope over the high tunnel from one side of it to where I wanted to hook it to the other side where I wanted to hook it. I took the rope off, measured it, and I sent those measurements to Grower Solutions, and Tyler and them ordered me one that size.
Yeah. Can I grow cabbage in the spring? I love cabbage.
It depends on what part of the country you live in.
7A?
You should be able to, but they need to already be in the ground now. You're not planting from seeds. They need to be in the ground now.
Mel Ladner said they've had their Salad Master cutter for 42 years. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm talking when something's good, it's good.
Have I started peaches from pits? Yes, I have. And some of the best peaches I ever had came from seeds that I grew myself.
How much were you able to save? I remember it got cooked. I don't know what they're talking about.
Do y'all still have the discount code for EMP shields? Yes, it should be in the description below.
Yes. And we do recommend EMP shields.
I highly recommend the EMP shield, especially with what we're facing against lightning and what the sun is about to start doing this. Well, I can't go into that because it might pull my video, but the sun's fixing to start doing some crazy things this summer. I would be more worried about what the sun's going to do than I would an EMP, or I would be more worried about lightning because of the severe storms we're going to be facing.
Greene County Agroforestry said sweet potatoes are a great plant for beginning gardeners. They make a lot of food and don't ask for much. Use what you learn from sweet potatoes to grow other things. Yes. Sweet potatoes is a superfood.
It is a superfood.
We have a whole playlist on sweet potatoes. You can go back and look, and we even do one called this a superfood.
I was called the sweet potato king for a while.
Yeah, because everybody was following Danny's advice on sweet potatoes back 5-6 years ago.
5-6 years ago. I was actually going to Tennessee and gave speeches in Tennessee on sweet potatoes and stuff. We were rocking and rolling in sweet potatoes.
And
can I suggest a book for saving seeds? I have a book in there called...
It's in the description of our video too. Seed Saving.
I think it's a book. It's a seed saving book. Danny, how is your knees? I still can't bend it, but so far it's or it'll lock up on me. I'm very careful with it. I try not to overdo it, and I watch every move that I make. I never did get any kind of surgery or anything like that on it. So it's hanging in there. That's all I can say.
Is this it?
Yeah.
It is by Story Gardener Skills Illustrated.
Here we go. Let's just not waste no time. There, let's put it up here. Oh.
Your finger.
It's up at the top.
Carol B. Turner.
Right there.
Seed Sowing and Saving.
Carol B. Turner. Seed Sowing and Saving. One of the best books I've ever found for saving seeds. It tells you how to plant, start, save, harvest, all of it.
All in one book.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, somebody's getting on to somebody on there. I just got the last part of it. Have we ever grown purple sweet potatoes? Free range asked. Yes. Don't really care for them. They're a little bit dry for me.
But they are prolific. But they're
prolific. If you've got a piece of one left in the ground, the next year it'll start growing. You ain't got to touch them.
Over on the new property, we found 3 or 4 in a
we did. We actually found some on the new property.
Somebody had planted some in the last few years.
Yep.
And so I found some, and I actually saved a few, so we might plant a few of those just because.
Right.
I hadn't done anything with them because we lost our stock. I finally cooked all ours, and we didn't save any.
Danny, how's a pomelo tree? It's hanging in there. It's in the pot in the barn. I got it saved.
It's still growing.
It's still growing.
Where can we find out what you are talking about with the sun and storms? There's quite a few people on YouTube.
Oh, let's see. You could probably...
Suspicious Observers is one of them.
Yeah, I don't actually watch him, but I mean...
I don't, but everybody says he's pretty good, and he don't do a whole bunch of drama stuff, I don't think.
Is it... Does Ben Danoon talk about... He's Israeli news, but I think if you go to his Patreon's channel...
I think he
I'm not a Patreon member. I don't actually know, but I've had a lot of subscribers send me messages saying, Danny, you need to go watch Ben Danoon over Israeli News, his Patreon channel, because he's part of the Central Intelligence Agency, and he gives off a ton of information. Now, I'm just going off of hearsay. I actually do not know that for a fact, but his Patreon... they said was $1. A $1 tier is all you had to pay.
Yeah, we hadn't went over there yet.
We haven't went over there.
May I ask how much rabbit manure you have collected so far?
Well, from 3 rabbits, we've collected 1.5 mineral tubs.
All right. Is there any old building structures on the property?
There's an old shed out there that we've been renovating, trying to do a little bit of work on, so it's there.
Have you ever grown honey nut squash? It's better than butternut. No, I haven't tried that.
Never grown. We've grown butternut, and we've grown lots of other different ones, but we haven't grown that.
All right. 3 favorite crops to grow.
Sweet potatoes, corn, and green beans.
Mine would have to be, I guess over the last couple of years, the Cherokee tan pumpkins that I grew in my high tunnel, my popcorn that I grew in my high tunnel, and what was the other one that I grew? Oh, the Trail of Tears beans that I grew in my high tunnel. They went wacky, and they produced, and they would die back and produce. I think they did that twice or 3 times. I don't know. There's videos over on Crazy Days.
Carlin Porter says, do you feed your cattle out on grain before butchering? No, not really. We just, my cows get about a quart of, it's called Tasty 14. It's a sweet feed. They get about a quart each every morning. That's it. The rest of the day they get hay, protein tubs, green ryegrass, and just a mixture of everything else they can find on the property to eat. I do not feed corn and all that kind of stuff to mine. I'm trying to feed them out or anything like that. I don't do that.
Somebody asked, will the fish freeze in the pond? We don't get that.
No, we don't. Our ponds don't ice over. How do you get on your Patreon? Just go to Deep South Homestead Patreon on Google, and it will take you there. And when you get there, it costs $3 to join.
That's the only tier we got.
That's the only tier we got. We don't ask for nothing else. It's just a $3 tier. Or you can pay, what is it, $30 a year. If you want it for the whole year, it's $30. That's what people normally do.
Mississippi Girl says her salad master is at least 58 years old.
And she loves it.
See, I really like that. We do not do Jerusalem artichokes. What is the name of that squash that is growing on y'all's fence?
Actually, that was our mystery squash, but come to find out,
we think we
figured it out. Once all the summer leaves that got scorched by the sun went away, and it started putting on leaves after those died off, they all came back to be true Cherokee tan pumpkin leaves. So
we think the sun actually did something to the plant that created the nuances and the weirdnesses. And those plants, the Cherokee tan are so prolific, and you just about can't kill them. Ours went all the way till it just got too cold to do anything. And once those leaves, like you said, killed off, next thing you know, we've got pretty Cherokee tans, and they made all the way to the frost.
Yeah. Let's see. Camlobe says, any tips on growing blueberries and blackberries in the South? I can't seem to grow them. Main thing is you need a pH of about 5 to 5.5. If it's any sweeter than that, will not grow. In the spring, you want to load them up with nitrogen, and from that point forward, just make sure the pH is not too high.
Do y'all have pecan trees? We have 2 here.
We got 2 at this house and about 5,000 at the other place.
And he's probably not exaggerating.
And I'm not exaggerating.
Oh, today you found a little cedar tree.
Oh, I did. I found a cedar tree today. I pushed up a yopon bush, and it had a cedar tree in the roots of it. I was able to get it out without damaging it, and we replanted it and hoping that it's going to grow.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get it. What about planting a garden if you are right next to a farm spraying chemicals all day?
Oh, man, I don't know about that. That's not going to be a good situation. I hate to say it, but it's just not. I mean, you need to grow your own food, but to grow if you live next to massive farming, that's never a good sign.
All right, so somebody wanted to know, let me see. Do you use the subsoiler to get your potatoes out of the ground?
No.
We got a potato fork.
We have potato fork, plus we have a middle buster. It's called a middle buster, not a subsoiler. A subsoiler is a little spike shank that goes deep in the ground, that plows one little furrow, and it cracks the ground open, and it doesn't really turn any soil over. It just breaks the pan under the ground. Oh, you passed a whole bunch of them.
I did. I was trying.
Let's see here.
Let's see.
Hey, I still love them. You didn't go back far enough, I don't think.
Okay. Somewhere in there?
Oh, I'm just trying to.
Have you tried cauliflower in the high tunnels? I don't usually grow
cauliflower doesn't do really well in the deep south unless you have time to pull the leaves up over the head, because it gets so hot here so early that the head will actually turn yellow on you. Now, I've grown them in the past, and I've grown some beautiful ones, but you've got to really take time with them in order to get them to do good.
Ashley wants to know, she said she's scared to prune. She planted pear and apple trees last year that are 2- and 3-year-old trees. Can I just let them grow?
You can let them grow, but you will never get the full potential from them. Now, the pear tree will be more apt to be forgiving than the apple tree will, but you've got to learn to prune them.
Somebody's looking for that book. Where did it go? Seed Sowing and Saving, I guess. Is that the one you're talking about? Seed Sowing and Saving by Carol Turner.
Carol Turner.
Okay. What's the trick to get earwigs to stop eating my sweet potatoes?
I don't know. We don't have an earwig problem here.
If you own 14 acres of land, what size HP tractor is good to start with? And some of the attachments or implements to have on a small homestead. That's something you haven't talked about.
I really haven't. 14 acres, probably. I'm just going to give you my personal opinion. There's laws, okay? There's certain laws, and they were created by Mr. Obama. You don't want to go over 25 horsepower. If you go over 25 horsepower in a tractor, no matter what variety tractor it is, then you get into the regen system and all that kind of stuff, computers and all that kind of stuff. I do not recommend that. I've had them, and I've had to get rid of them because they stayed in the shop more than they ran. I recommend staying at 25 horsepower or less. I recommend 25 horsepower if at all possible. The implements you want is probably a rear tiller, a bush hog, and some sort of a cultivator or planter to go on the back of it.
All right, so any special tips for growing sweet watermelons?
Yeah, watermelons do best, Mary, in new ground. If you've got a place that's just been grassed over for a long time, watermelons that need to be sweet need to be limed real good. You need to make sure the pH is up there around 6.8 on watermelons. And don't overdo it on the nitrogen, because if you do, it will cause your stomach to hurt when you eat them. So you want to make sure that you keep the potassium and the phosphorus up on them and the lime.
All right. Do we have a list of books that we recommend? Yes, we do. And in our live stream description is a whole list. You just have to glance down. All the books are there. We did that last year one time, and I put all the books down in the description, and I've left them there for people that are looking for books. Somebody said, are there any, let's see, no. How's the peanut crop in your zone?
Peanuts do real well in our area because the soil is kind of sandy down here, and peanuts love sandy soil. We've grown some of the best peanuts here we've ever had. I mean, you just got to fight the critters for them, but peanuts do extremely well. And let me say this, a lot of people have peanut allergies, and technically it's not the peanut. It's the chemicals that they're using on the peanuts that causes the allergies. I always recommend to people, try jungle peanuts, because jungle peanuts don't have the alpha toxin poisoning that regular peanuts have, and they're immune to that. And we don't get the alpha toxin poisoning in our bodies from it, because most people who die from pancreatic cancer, they don't tell you this, but a lot of those people were heavy peanut eaters, and they developed
peanut butter or something.
Yeah, peanut butter or raw peanuts. Always toting peanuts around, eating them, out of the pack, salted peanuts and stuff like that. So the jungle peanuts are your best bet.
Our friend Palmetto Paratrooper, hadn't heard from you in
Man,
a while.
hey, my friend.
He said he lived in Zone 8, and for 10 years he bought land in Zone 7 and moved. He said the difference in what I can grow is astonishing, considering it's only one zone difference.
Palmetto, I agree with you 100%. I moved to central Mississippi from South Mississippi, and I'm going to tell you what, it's 3 hours north of here. It was daylight and dark. The people up there could grow apples and peaches, plums, pears, all this kind of stuff. Most beautiful stuff you've ever seen. Down here, you struggle to get anything to produce. Up there, it was just like night and day.
All right, they asked me what are my 2 favorite fruits to make into jams. If I'm going to make jams, I don't like putting anything in my jams that have a lot of seeds in them. If I'm going to do jams, it's going to be something like peaches or apples. I don't really do apples in it. Peaches. I've done blueberry jam, but I don't like a lot of the seeds and stuff in it. I'd rather do blueberry jelly, but I do blueberry jam. I did do some huckleberry, but again, the seeds in it. I'm not a big on having jam. I'd rather have my jellies.
Cul-de-sac, I said jungle, Jungle, peanuts.
Yeah, jungle.
Yeah. I knew she missed that. I saw that, and I want to go back and catch that one.
Do y'all have problems with feral hogs?
I had some problems with hogs when I first moved here, but y'all just have to know how I am. I kill everything. If it don't belong to me, it dies. And there was a bunch of old wild hogs around here when I first moved here, and I literally killed every one of them suckers. And I ain't seen another one in probably 20 years. I haven't seen a wild hog around here.
Thank you, Brad. He said he's watched nothing but Deep South on his TV for the last 3 weeks. He said, I love you guys. You have changed my life.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Mr. Ray says, Danny, do you fertilize your potatoes once or twice after they come up? Once my potatoes come up, now I'm assuming that you're talking about my Irish potatoes. I fertilize them when I plant them, and I side dress them once, and then I don't fertilize them anymore.
How's the fire ants at the new place? Not as bad, but I did see a bunch of hills in the fields.
Well, we seen some around the post on the
grape arbor.
The grape arbor.
Only one post.
Only one post had some of them, all the way up the whole post. And I've seen a couple of them around in the fields, but the soil is so heavy there that
it's a different soil.
It's way different it is here, and the ants don't seem to be as bad.
The soil is really, really different from here.
It's way different.
100% different.
100%.
Can you recommend some good crops to grow for pigs? Pigs will eat anything.
Pigs will eat just about any crops.
Pumpkins.
Pigs love pumpkins. Now that they do. They love pumpkins.
They like corn.
Corn, squash, tomatoes.
Sugarcane.
Well, they do
ours
like
love sugarcane.
Ours love. As a matter of fact, we had a joke going. We was going to have our own sweet and sour pork before I even butchered them.
Because we fed them so much sugarcane.
Yeah.
They got all the tops, and they got any of the bagasse that was left over, and they gnawed on it, so they got a lot of sweet with theirs.
Reap what you sow gardening. Hello there.
Where do I get my soil tested?
We got ours. We went to our local county extension office, and they went through Mississippi State University. Now, we had someone from Tennessee contact us and ask us could they use Mississippi State University, and I told them, I says, I don't know, you'll have to call them and see. So they called, and they told them that yes, they would do their soil sample. So depends on where you live at. Mississippi State University did ours, and we were very pleased with it.
What disease-resistant pole beans would you recommend?
I can't recommend any pole beans because every time we plant them here, the kudzu bugs come up and take them over, and we don't really ever end up with anything. Oh, I know which one, rattlesnake beans.
They did good until the kudzu bugs.
Yep, the rattlesnake beans done good until the kudzu bugs started here.
So we're not going to plant any vining beans this year. We're going to see if we can kill that cycle of kudzu bugs.
Yeah. Do we pour gas on the anthills? I don't pour it on the anthills. I take a pipe and I drive a deep hole in the ant bed and I pour the gas down in it and I kick the dirt back over the hole real quick. And as the fumes come up through the bed, they kill the whole bed.
Wanda, did y'all move? No, we did not. We bought 40 acres of land and we are refurbishing some old property. It's fun. Let's see. Anyone know of an online directory for community gardens, like a place where you can rent or reserve a plot for a year?
I don't know anything about those. We don't live near no big city or anything, so I don't know.
But now the new community garden thing that we got, somebody signed us up for, that was not us. The USDA does have community gardens.
Yes, the USDA does have them.
If you'll go to the USDA site and look, they have that now, and they're going to start incorporating all kinds of gardens into it. See, we were told it when we called the USDA, the guy told us it was only for in cities.
Suburbs and cities, yeah.
Now they're starting to branch out.
Yeah.
Anybody that wants to have a community garden where you have people come in and you teach and where you share your food with them, that's going to be your community garden. So check the USDA website.
Katrina says, Danny, do you recommend sheep or goats for clearing land? I recommend, if you want to clear some land, goats by far do a better job than anything. They'll eat the bark off the trees.
What do you fertilize? What fertilizer do you use? I think they meant what fertilizer do you use with your potatoes?
Kim, I just use an 8-24-24 regular blend fertilizer for my potatoes. They do really, really good.
Do we grow any herbs for our chickens?
Not really. We just give our chickens the scraps left over out of the garden.
And when I let them out, they eat whatever they want. And lots of times there's hen bit and what?
We got a lot of hen bit growing around here.
I let them out to eat that because it grows all around their pens and stuff. They love that stuff.
Julie said, I can't believe Mississippi won't let you sell sweet potato slips. Well, what it is, we can sell them, but we would have to be certified by the state. They would have to come in here and certify my sweet potatoes, make sure they didn't have any disease or none of that kind of stuff. And I'm not want the state involved in nothing I'm doing. Did I ever do anything about the person who signed you up for the community garden deal? No, we kind of exposed who they were and left it at that. We left the Lord to handle that. I told him, I said, you know what, I know who it is. And once that I learned who it was, it didn't surprise me once I learned who it was. So we basically have I guess you'd say we've cut ties with those people and we don't have anything to do with them anymore.
What would be good to start now in Zone 7B8A, Central North Carolina?
Any of your brassicas would be good to start putting in the ground now, and then getting ready for English peas and stuff like that. I mean, would do good.
Do we sell sugarcane slips? There are no.
There ain't no such thing as a sugarcane slip.
In the fall, we sell sugarcane.
We sell,
the stalks for replanting, but it's in October.
Yes.
Let's see. When I move it, it jumps. How is Christopher? Please update on the medical. Christopher had his biopsy, and it came back that it was not cancer, so they're going to be doing surgery in a couple of weeks. And he was allowed to play his basketball games the last couple of weeks, so he's a happy camper. Not looking forward to surgery, but he's doing okay.
Vicky says, can you use triple 13 fertilizer for everything? It's not recommended. You don't really want to use anything high nitrogen when you first plant a seed in the ground or any little plants, because you run the risk of burning them up because of the high nitrogen. You always want to start with a low nitrogen and then side dress with a high nitrogen, but you don't want to start out planting with a high nitrogen.
What causes the large blood or meat spots on the yolks or in the whites of the chicken eggs?
That is, we have them in ours periodically. I don't know that I can actually give you an honest answer on that, because it's a makeup of the chicken. I don't want to go into a lot of detail here about it, because some people will get grossed out about it, but this is what, when you buy, if you go to a restaurant, it's called a kosher restaurant, they have a Muslim or a Jewish guy in the back, especially when it's feast times and they have him and they're doing Ramadan or all these types of things. They have a guy back there watching as they crack those eggs. If one of them has a blood spot in it, they have to discard it, in other words, to keep it kosher. But as far as what causes it, it won't hurt you. No, it's not going to hurt you. No.
I just crack eggs and keep going.
Don't. I mean, we see them in ours, but we don't worry about it.
The Appalachian Farm Hand channel says, I'm a new sub. I recently started my channel restoring my great-grandfather's 100 acres. What is the best way to reclaim and maintain field edges? That's what Danny's doing now.
It's called a track hoe.
Yeah, we got a track hoe coming for some of ours.
We're going to use a track hoe on ours, because field edges, I tried to get into ours and the bushes are hanging over so far, my bucket on my tractor won't reach up in there far enough to actually get to it to push it over without it being all up in my face. So I've actually had to hire a track hoe to come and just start clearing mine.
Do we grow elderberries?
Yes, we have elderberries. Matter of fact, we're fixing to plant some over on the new property we have growing out by the pond back here.
Okay. Let's see.
Carolyn Smith says, it's the chicken cycle, it's not a problem. That's a good way to put that. I was trying to come up with the right word. I didn't want to say, like a dot. I want you to just use that word. I didn't want to say that. I was like, hey, if it might offend some people or not. I try to be as cordial on a Saturday Night Live as I can. If I was doing porch time, I wouldn't bother me. I'd just say it. But
not sure how many kids are listening.
Yeah, I don't know if kids might not understand what we're talking about, this listening and all that. But
how can you tell if the eggs are fertile?
Candle them after about 2 or 3 days of the heat. I mean, you can candle one. That's how you can tell if it's fertile. You'll see the baby growing in it.
Okay. Gotta have some water here.
Reap What You Sow Gardening keeps getting deleted by Lippy. I mean, I don't know what. I mean, they're usually a good channel. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what they.
I hear what they say. When do you?
Oh, they were just over and over and over. Tip, 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 tip.
Tip, tip, tip. Okay, I see what it is.
We will at some point.
When do I plant kale in North Carolina? You should already have it planted, to be honest with you, or you can plant it now.
All right.
Rousseau said, I just heard it gross. I'll throw that one out. See, that's what I told you. There's actually nothing wrong with the egg. I'm going to be honest with you. There's nothing wrong with it.
Danny had a tip, and I don't know if he even remembers it. He couldn't remember what
I got a tip. I'll do a tip. Okay.
But we're going to do our prayer requests first, so go ahead and be putting those up.
Yeah. You can use azalea fertilizer on your blueberries if you have to, guys. Yes.
Where is the best place to buy elderberry plants? There has to be some homesteaders selling them.
Just check out different, yeah.
I'm not 100% sure if, I mean, I've not watched channels enough to know who sells what, but a lot of your homestead, even if it's not a homestead channel, a lot of homesteaders have Etsy stores that sell things like that. So I would say go on Etsy and type in elderberry plants and see what pops up.
Yeah. Okay. River Hills Harvest for elderberry stuff. Jeff Benjamin, thank you. So I have been busy at work. Is the Tractor Supply Company feed thing a real thing?
A lot of people say it is.
They're saying that it is.
And then we had some on here said no, so I'm not sure.
We've got people on here who said that I don't buy my feed from Tractor Supply, but lots of our subscribers say their chickens are still laying fine with Tractor Supply. Now, Tractor Supply, to best of my knowledge, sells 2 different types of feed. Now, I'm not sure if it's one of them that they're saying it is, or if it's one of the other one they're saying that it is.
Or if it's both. We don't have a know.
I don't know about that. Some of our subscribers here said they're having perfectly fine results using Tractor Supply. Others, I'm not sure if they're just jumping on the bandwagon or, you know. Well, here it is. Daryl Smith says, Jeff, I use it and have no trouble. That's what I'm saying.
We've seen several say they have no trouble. Just research it. If you use it, make sure.
Well, do this. Go to Tractor Supply and look on the bag and just see what's in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then compare it. Jerk the sticker off the bag.
No, use your phone and screenshot it.
Okay.
And
do if you got a phone. I don't have a phone.
Don't yank their tags off. You're gonna get somebody in trouble.
I don't have a phone, so I don't think about things like that. But if you got a phone, just take a picture of the tag and then go to some other feed store and take a picture of that tag and look at
compare.
And just compare what's in both bags. And if it looks like the same exact thing, I wouldn't worry about it. I'm guilty of doing that. That's the reason I say it.
Somebody's asking what the egg prices are here. Now, I went into Piggly Wiggly yesterday when we were in town, and I looked at the eggs. They had just cheap eggs, $2.30, because I had just told somebody that asked me how much I was selling my eggs for. I said $3 a dozen, because that's usually what we've always gotten is $3 a dozen. And when I walked in Piggly Wiggly and they had them for $2.30 a dozen, I'm sitting there going, well, I guess I'm a little expensive.
No.
So I don't know.
Let me say this. My daughter lives close to the coast. And she asked me, Dad, are we going to have food shortages? Are we going to have shortages of this, shortages of that? Is the prices of things going to be outrageous? Dad, please tell me, you know. And I told her, I says, look, let me put it to you like this. Stuff comes into the coast on containers and on ships. The people on the coastlines and the inland, the first 100 to 300 miles, are going to get the food first. You'll get the best prices because it doesn't have to be shipped as far. It doesn't have to be trucked as far. You're going to always have food first. You're going to always pay the best prices. Anything that has to go further inland is usually going to be out of stock or a higher price. And that has proven to be true.
All right, let's see.
Okay, we said we was going to pray, so we got to pray for these people.
Yeah.
All right. Father, we come to you tonight. Lord, we're so thankful. You've been so good to us this week. We've had a blessed week, Lord. We've got a lot accomplished this week, and a lot of our subscribers have said they've got a lot accomplished, and our people over on Patreon, Lord, they're blowing and going at the seams over there. Lots of them are. They're sending us messages talking about their farms and all that they've got going on. It encourages us so much, Father, to see so many people having such success with what they're doing. And Lord, we want to take tonight to thank you for that. We want to praise you for giving all the people the good results that you've given them now. And we have people send us messages talking about they having physical tests done, getting good results back, and want to thank us for praying for them. And Lord, I want to thank you. We don't deserve any credit here, but we want to thank you for answering their prayers tonight, Lord. And that's a blessing. It's always good to get positive feedback there. And Lord, we just want to take the time to say that tonight we saw a lot of people putting up, they got daughters with problems, we got grandkids with problems. I mean, people's having problems all over the place physically, Lord. Some of them are sick, some of them got test results needing back, cancer, all kinds of different things, Lord. And Father, we just speak healing upon all these people tonight that's asked requests for prayer. Ask that you just intervene in their life, Lord, and give them the peace and the comfort that they need, and Father, so that they can rest comfortably and not be in pain or anything like that, Lord, but just we speak healing for them, Father, supernatural healing, so that they don't have to take all these horrible medications and things like this, Lord, or have to have all these different surgeries and that types of thing, Lord. We're just praying for supernatural healing. And we're rebuking Satan in the name of Christ as he comes up against people, whether it be mentally or physically or spiritually, Lord, or even people's finances, Lord. As we mentioned tonight about our power bill going up $100, people are fixing to have financial issues, Lord. Just got information that the housing market is not looking good. There's fixing to be a huge downturn in the housing market. And Father, people's going to be upside down in the mortgages that they made when they were high. And we just praying that they won't lose their houses if they lose their jobs and stuff. There's going to be lots of cutbacks coming. We've seen and heard that there's tremendous amounts of financial cutbacks coming. So we're praying that none of our subscribers will be in that cutback category, Lord. But every one of them will be able to have the blessings of obedience from Deuteronomy chapter 28, Lord, that they'll have the blessings of obedience bestowed upon them, and that they'll be faithful, Lord, and that they'll have the windows of heaven kicked out and be able to just be blessed financially and be blessed physically and spiritually, Lord, and mentally and all the areas that they have issues with. And Father, we just, I did the video on distractions. And we're praying that people don't get distracted by these silly balloon things flying over our country. And Lord, I've tried to tell people they're going to see things coming that they're going to distract them. They're going to have things seeing that they ain't never seen before. And I'm just praying, Father, that they take the advice, go forward with it, don't freak out about it, and just understand this is stuff that's done on a daily basis, and they're just trying to distract everybody from what's really going on behind the scenes, Father. Watch over us, guide and direct us, bless us, take care of us now. We ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
All right. I'm yawning like crazy now.
Oh, don't be yawning on me.
It's done getting my bedtime.
No.
Yeah, it is. No. It's getting my bedtime.
No. Oh, let's see.
So they're going to want a tip. You're going to have to think of a tip.
I got to give them a tip again tonight. Let's see here. Let's get them get past the prayer now, because ain't nobody said the amen part yet. There we go.
Starting the amen.
Yeah, there they come. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yes, sir. Yeah, I told him, I said, I ought to take my 270 and shoot that balloon down if it come over.
Well, I saw something on, was it Dabu or Dutch Sense? I think it was Dabu, but it might have been Dutch Sense. Was showing that there was a guy with the beer bottle throwing it at the balloon.
Oh, man.
And when it was over Missouri.
Yeah.
It was the Missouri defense system or something.
The Missouri defense system. Oh, man.
It was funny. One of them was doing that.
Yeah. Well, I did a video on Patreon about that thing, so I ain't going to talk about it here, but okay. Man, people still piling in there saying that. All right. Okay, everybody wants a tip. Okay. This year, I want y'all to grow some of your crops in containers. And the reason for that is they're expecting a huge disruption in the soil this year, which is going to cause the microbes in the soil to not work like they're supposed to work. They're going to start migrating toward the surface of the ground, and they're not going to be breaking down the stuff in the soil that needs to be broke down. So what I'm going to advise for everyone to do this year, now we're going to be doing it, not totally, but we're going to be planting in the ground also, but we're going to be comparing the stuff that we have growing in containers and the stuff we have growing in the ground, because we're going to grow the exact same thing in the containers that we grow in the ground, and we're going to see if there's a tremendous difference in how they grow this year, because the word's coming down the line that the soil is going to be doing some really crazy stuff this summer, and people are not going to understand why their plants are not growing. So I'm going to encourage you to grow some stuff in containers so that you can beat that from happening. That's my tip for tonight. Grow in containers some of your stuff.
Would it apply to raised beds?
No, raised beds are still in the ground. It will not work in raised beds. It's going to have to be in containers up off of the dirt.
And somebody's using grow bags. Yes.
Yes, grow bags are fine. Mineral tubs are fine. Any kind of 5-gallon buckets, whatever you want to grow in like that, that's fine. Get it out of a raised bed. Get it up in some containers. Now, don't quit growing stuff in your raised bed. But try some stuff in containers and compare the two of them this year. And let's keep a record. Let's see if all the information I got coming is accurate in letting us know that the microbes in the soil are not going to be doing what they're supposed to be doing this year.
Hills Mills is really right. Add tomato baskets to the pots and experiment with electroculture.
Yes.
Using those tomato cages, their wire, will help. So that's one thing you should try. Electroculture, Mickey has over on Hills Mills Homestead, has been talking about electroculture for a while now.
I want to take it one step further though. Mr. Mickey has them in cages. Take you a pair of pantyhose and tie one cage to another cage. Link them together, or a piece of copper wire. Link them from one cage to the other cage all the way throughout the whole system, and watch your garden grow.
What would pantyhose do?
Pantyhose creates an electromagnetic current, believe it or not.
Are you serious?
If you don't believe me, watch a woman walking down through the hall.
They will start.
Watch her dress. Watch her dress. If she's got the right kind of dress on, it'll suck right up to them pantyhose, because they create a magnetic field.
I know. I've been there, done that. I have taken off dresses and changed because of that. That is funny.
Do we use potash on our plants, and if so, which ones? Yes, we do use potash. We use from Dr. Earth. We use liquid phosphorus. I'm sorry. We use liquid phosphorus from Dr. Earth. What's it called?
Golden Bloom.
Golden Bloom. Yes. And let's see here. You started to tip and it started buffering here. Grow in containers. If it's buffering, I am so sorry. Grow in containers this year. Joe Mama says static guard. There we go. Static is the word I was looking for, Joe Mama. Thank you.
Green stalks. Yes, I have several green stalks, and they are kind of expensive, but the way they're made is well worth it. You can go buy cheap stacking things. But I'm going to tell you, overall, the way the green stalk is gravity fed from the top down, and the way they have the holes in each one, and the way they twist and stack, each one waters the next one. So it's amazing. And when you fertilize from the top down also. There's other things out there that have, the water that pumps through the system, like hydroponics type thing or something. But green stalks is gravity fed. It's easy and it grows well.
Okay, while you were talking, there's some
I do have a link in the description
comments
for green
were going
stalks.
by there. Do I need to worry if my raised bed has been completely covered since last September? No, you don't have to worry.
Do they still sell pantyhose? That was going to be my thought too. I don't even know if they do. Now, they sell the knee highs, and they would be easier to tie because it'd be like having a piece of string.
Will a kiddie pool be okay for a container? Yes. You just have to keep it watered a lot more, but yes, it'll do. Let's see here. Let's see here. You're going down the line.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Read What You Sow Gardening says, I've never tried grow bags before. My mom and daddy raised tons of tomatoes in grow bags.
So it is doable. Just got to figure out what works for you. All right.
Okay. Okay, looks like...
Something like about dryer sheets on pantyhose.
Looks like I got caught up there anyway.
What was the name of the channel? Back up a little. Where did I see it? What was the name of the channel? I don't see it. Somebody asked what was the name of a channel for something or other, and I don't know.
Danny, can you grow rhubarb in pots? I don't know. We don't grow rhubarb down here. We live in the deep south, so I can't answer that one.
Yeah, all right. That's fine. Just go ahead. I just saw somebody ask the name of a channel for something, and then
what's in the ground that's causing the reaction? There's electromagnetic currents and heat. And radiation, gamma rays are going to be driving the microbes toward the surface in the soil.
Let's see. I just don't know. Okay, we got to go.
Okay, we got to get off here, guys. Anyway, what kind of soil in the containers?
Oh, what is the name of the channel for the electric information? Hills Mill Homestead. HILLSMILL Homestead. Hills Mill.
Camper Jack put it up there.
Thank you, Camper Jack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right, we got to get off here, guys. Thank y'all for spending time with us tonight. I hope and pray we've been a blessing to you, because you have surely been a blessing to us.
In this crazy world.
In this crazy world that we live in. Thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.